What's up guys, Mr. Gims back again, and I've really been biting my tongue. I didn't want to do this video. I don't want to be doing drama videos or stuff like that, but this is just like going down a road that even I didn't think it would. So I just wanted to put in my 2 cents. You know, it's an open forum, it's YouTube, you can do that. And I want to, you know, weigh in on Tru3ta1ent and Scott Junn's little, I don't know, war. It seems it's turning into something else now, but anyway, basically it all started with Tru3ta1ent believes that Survivor Friends is too strong, and he feels that they should be nerfed somehow. Scott Junn thinks that Survivor Friends is fine, and that he doesn't really think they're fine, but he thinks that if you buffed solo Survivor, you'd be able to bring up the lower end, and it's not going to do anything. I do agree with Scott's logic at the start, but then it just starts going down this dark road. And I initially talked about this on stream, but it just seemed like everyone, like, I'm not putting anyone down, but it just seemed everyone was on Scott's train, and that's fine. I wasn't, because I agree with what Scott's saying, but then it sort of turned into something else, and then I thought Tru would be pissed off with the way. Let's analyze it. Let's analyze it. We'll go through it and we'll discuss it.
Hey guys, Scott here. This is mostly meant as kind of a video for Tru3ta1ent specifically. I would like to do this in sort of like a live debate form, because I always really find that entertaining. But I think I've seen on his stream a couple times he's not super into the idea of doing it. If I'm wrong, please shut me up and let's do it, because that sounds fun.
Yeah, so definitely straight off the bat, he even knows that Tru3ta1ent doesn't really like debates and things like that. And by the end of this video, you can definitely see why. I mean, obviously he had that one with Otts, but in my opinion, Otts approached it extremely differently. But anyway, let's keep going.
That's why I thought I would make this video as sort of a direct message to you. And it's something that you can respond to as well, or ignore it, tell me to fuck off, whatever. I just want to air it, because I also want to address the mindset that you have, because it's something that, you know, your viewers tend to share. Content creators tend to rub off on their viewers. That's just how it happens. So I do want this to be available to more than just you. And it's about the whole, your view on Survive with Friends. Basically, all this came about, your suggestion for nerfing Survive with Friends at all is making gens take longer if you're in a Survive with Friends group.
So straight away, Scott says that he wanted to share this as a direct message to Tru, if nothing else, because obviously he knows that Tru doesn't like debating. That's fair enough, I understand that. He critiques or wants to discuss the idea of the Survivor Friends and how Tru3ta1ent always does seem to say, you know, oh, they're Survivor Friends group, that's why I lost, they're on comms, they have perfect communication. And man, let me put my hand up here. I do this as well. I can definitely say that. I know that sometimes that I've just gotten my ass kicked, and I need to own up to the fact that I didn't play, you know, absolutely perfectly. I wasn't prepared for it for whatever reason. I was on a bad map. I'm not playing a great killer. There's a bunch of excuses, but I do tend to also go to, oh my God, their Survivor Friends are on comms, they're amazing. So I can understand what Scott's saying there. It is something we're all learning. We all need to get past. And yeah, just sometimes there's a great group of survivors and not necessarily Survivor Friends. So I'm gonna put my hand up for that one. That's me as well. But then he says, like, you know, communities tend to sort of copycat the creator, which is very true. And somebody with so many subs and such a big community like Scott's, I thought you would have known that, because, or at least taken your own advice on board for that, because it definitely gets quite dark. But then it goes from discussing Survivor Friends, and you can tell the switch straight away with Scott's sort of body language, that he wants to, you know, talk about his other grievances. And that's where I think it does sort of hit a personal note, and maybe it could have been slid into a DM.
The reason you lost this match is you played like shit. And that's not to say you're a shit player or anything like that. Everyone has bad games. No one is ever meant to be a perfect player. That's ridiculous. That's not even a realistic thing. But you did play like shit this game. You missed a lot of blinks. A lot of chases just ended without downs. You kicked a lot of gens. You made a lot of mistakes this game, and that's why you lost. I feel like I just have to say that. If you have a 12-minute match as nurse and everyone's not dead, it's because you played badly. And again, that's okay. But you kind of have to admit that perhaps you had something to do with it specifically. It's not necessarily Survive with Friends or anything like that, so.
Yeah, 100%. I watched the matches as well, just quickly, just once. I didn't watch it time and time again, but Tru played badly. He was disconnected from the match he played badly and then said Survivor Friends on comms. All that's, you know, he did the true excuse. I'm not saying that he didn't. Scott's right so far. So far, I'm agreeing with Scott.
But I think the mindset you have to immediately say that, you know, you tend to diminish my arguments quite a bit by saying I don't understand because I don't go against the teams that you do. I do. You just overestimate the people that you're going against. One of them literally had 3 months in the game, and it was just 2 solos and then a 2-man. This is not a crazy match of DBD. This is pretty normal. But you tend to drum it up a bit, and your chat says, wow, Survive with Friends OP, because you say that. You say, oh, look, they're body blocking at the end. They must be Survive with Friends. And it leads to this echo chamber effect where you just all keep telling each other Survivor Friends OP. They're super high caliber esports pro squads. God, one of your guys in your chat said that. I don't even think you'd agree with that. But like, you contribute to it a little bit. And I think that's not a good attitude to have.
So again, we've moved away from the argument that, you know, this is the reason why you lost, but now we're moving on to Tru's attitude. And I definitely think, I don't know, there is a gray area there, definitely, you know, maybe a DM or something like that, but I just think he's sort of like, it's a bit of a personal touch here. Like, it's one thing to critique somebody's view on the game, but I think it's getting personal. I think if you're analyzing the behavior, I think you can start to see it's getting personal now, but we'll continue because there's a lot more.
Now, sometimes taking it too far in the other direction, like sometimes I bend over and take it in the ass from behavior. Sometimes I excuse things that are clearly problems with the game because I just don't care that much. It's a video game. And that's not the best idea either. But I think I would prefer that, and I think most people would prefer that, rather than just blaming Survive with Friends and, you know, everyone's like a top tier player instead of just admitting you kind of made some mistakes.
So here Scott definitely agrees that, you know, sometimes he bends over and takes it up the ass and sort of defends behavior for, you know, other reasons. And I know Scott, I've watched his videos for a while now as well. He definitely does critique behavior, in my opinion, at a good, decent level. He definitely airs his grievances, but he's saying Tru3ta1ent's doing something in his, you know, he's acting away in his community, and that's not good. But he's also saying over here that what he does isn't good as well. So I'm a little bit confused here what the message is supposed to be.
I don't think you're going out of your way to lie. I don't think you're going, I'm going to trick my viewers. I'm going to say this is a 4-man pro squad. I don't think you're doing that. I don't think you're a bad person or anything like that at all. I think you introduce the possibility that it is a Survive with Friends by mentioning Survive with Friends quite a bit, and then you don't really correct it. You just sort of let it sit, and then your chat does the rest for you. And I don't know, man. It makes me sad when I see that, because you didn't lose this game because of Survive with Friends. You lost because you played bad. That's it. That's the only possible explanation. Even if this was a God squad, you still should have won in 12 minutes. And again, that's okay. Having bad games is fine. Everyone has bad games, but at least look inward a bit more and, you know, try to blame yourself. Because I've seen you say you admit you make mistakes a lot. But a lot of the time when you get beaten and people in chat call you out, hey, watch the VOD, go over your mistakes, you are really sarcastic and you scoff at it like, how could I be making mistakes? I have 5,600 hours. Yeah, okay, sure, it's my fault. You answer it like that. It's just a dick way to answer it. Just don't do that. It's possible you made mistakes. Just say that. And you have, you know, admitted that you made mistakes before, and that's great. But I have seen you scoff on more than one occasion when you make a lot of mistakes. And I don't know, man, it's just like, it just doesn't seem like a good attitude to spread to people. I'm not going to tell you how to run your stream or anything like that, but it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like not a good way to do it.
At this point, Scott's pretty much telling him how to act on stream and sort of stream etiquette and sort of game analysis. He is literally saying, you know, don't be a dick, don't do that. He's saying he's being disingenuous with his crowd, saying like Survivor Friends, and he lays on it. Let me be extremely clear. When I first heard of Dead by Daylight back in 2016, just after its early access, I found Tru3ta1ent. I watched him. It was good with the game, and it was funny. He was the kind of guy that I like watching, right? I don't watch him anymore because I definitely have to say that Tru3ta1ent can have quite an ego at times. I don't know if he's admitted this himself. This is not an attack on Tru. I'm just saying this is my personal opinion of the character. He does just come off as, you know, I can do no wrong, I'm sort of a professional player or whatever, and that's fine. He's got an ego. He is a full-blooded male. I can relate to that in the sense that, you know, that he's sort of a no-nonsense character. He just has his views and then that's it, and it can be hard to persuade him to go other ways. I am very similar in that way. I've definitely opened myself up more over the years, and it seems the videos I've watched recently of Tru, he's still in that same sort of narrative, in that same place, but Scott here is essentially asking him to change his change his like sort of views on things, and that's fair enough, but again, he's sort of telling him how to run his stream, yeah? Does anyone understand what I'm trying to say?
I guess the main thing I wanted to talk about, certainly very ranty. I totally, if you would like to discuss things on your, I'll even come on your stream. I'll go in the bullpen. I'm totally okay with that. That's fine. I don't know. I had to air out a lot of stuff. I think that way of fixing Survivor Friends is a really, really bad idea. It seems like most people agree it's not a good idea, which is good. Ugh.
Again, yeah, it just seems like he's trying to, protect the community of Dead by Daylight or whatever that is. But yeah, so from this point, that's all I want to analyze with his video. Obviously, most of it I didn't have a problem with. He did, critique some of Tru3ta1ent's views on the game and how he feels about Survivor Friends, and then he sort of went on with the attitude sort of thing, and I don't know, that's neither here nor there, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't do a video and then critique how they look at the game and sort of calling them out. It makes them look like a dick. It does paint them in a bad light, and I don't agree with it. But anyway, in true fashion, Tru was doing his stream after this video, and what do you think happened? After everything Scott had said about how communities tend to copy the content creators or whatever, it's exactly what happened, and they went to Tru's stream for nearly an 8-hour stream, and just harassed him. I went in there for a little bit, saw a couple of comments. I'm being very nice here, a couple of comments. He got trashed for about 7 hours, and I don't know what you guys think that feels like, to be trashed for 7 hours, saying, you're a salty killer main and all that stuff, and just being called out. And it got made matters worse because Tru said, I'm not going to do a response video, I'm not going to address it. I think Tru was a little bit upset. By the way, Scott sort of critiqued himself personally, rather than it sort of got away from Dead by Daylight there for a little bit. At least it did to me. It seemed like that to me. But anyway, by 7 hours, Tru had had enough, and he was sort of a little bit, I'd say you would be pissed off. Makes sense. But then he did this reaction to a comment in his stream, and this is where the whole witch hunt just fucking catapults. Let's check it out, and I want to hear what you guys have to think about this.
Against a strong team, that the probability is that that's going to be a Survivor Friends over a solo. Doesn't have to be, but is it insanely kind of like illogical to believe, probability-wise, that it would be over a solo? Sorry, I don't agree. I don't understand. You need to explain that again. Well, no, that's not logical. What are you all about? That doesn't make sense.
Basically, the way this video's been pushed on Twitter is that Tru3ta1ent is making fun of disabled people. What happened? What happened with society? This has turned into a full-blooded witch hunt, one that I did not think it was going to get to this level. Do you honestly think in your heart of hearts right now Tru3ta1ent is targeting disabled people while he's pissed off, while he's upset, while he's been targeted all stream, while he's been on the defensive all stream? Scott Junn's video or not at this point, do you honestly think the first thing he's thinking about when he's rebuttaling to somebody else is, I don't understand, and he's trying to mock disabled people? Are we fucking serious? Is that where we've gone now? Like, I just don't understand this. And this narrative has been pushed, by none other than Scott Junn. Let's take to Twitter, have a look at what the hell is going on. So if we just read this, guys, it says, man, Tru3ta1ent, I was watching your VOD to gauge your response to the video, and this is the exact shit I'm talking about, dude. You literally mock a dude who doesn't agree with you as if he has brain damage. What the fuck, man? So this narrative, and by the way, Scott had been tweeting all day, all over fucking Twitter, atting Tru3ta1ent, but this is led by Scott. Scott, in his mind, in his heart of hearts, thinks while all this is going on in this discussion and this debate over the way he perceives things, he starts bringing out, you're targeting disabled people. What the hell is going on? And again, Scott doesn't take his own advice. Well, at least I don't think he obviously knows what he's doing is wrong. that he says that, oh, a community tend to agree with the content creator. They're all gonna follow you, Scott. You come on, man. Like, they're obviously gonna do that. And so they just start berating Tru3ta1ent on Twitter and absolutely begin that cancel culture that I absolutely cannot stand. And I don't believe that Tru3ta1ent was making fun of disabled people in that video. He was just doing a dumb voice. You can't do anything anymore, man. And then Scott continues, I'm genuinely sorry to keep talking about you, as I'm sure it's been exhausting, but this is the exact shit that causes me not to be able to ignore you as a part of the community too, and this shit spreads. I'm sure I speed negative influence at times too, so call me out too. This sounds very aggressive now. He sort of like wants that debate. He's not getting the debate that he wanted. So now he's really pushing the envelope, and he's doing this, you know, on Tru3ta1ent's Twitter or whatever, or, you know, on his Twitter. It doesn't matter. He's still at him originally, but it's just getting too aggressive now. And now he is calling him out for personal behavior, and it does seem that something's happened. It looks like Scott's after him. Can anyone agree at this point that this is starting to look a little bit strange? But anyway, Tru responds, you're acting very odd now. I addressed a mob you sent very well, and he did for the most part on his stream. Maybe show how much shit I had to put up with and then how relaxed I was. I had to explain myself thousands of times. It got a bit tedious. Yep. I explained my side over and over, and I was met with I don't agree or no. So yeah, Tru does a stupid voice. He mocks the guy who just asked, you know, I don't agree or whatever, or said I don't agree. Where did it go from that to doing a stupid, silly voice to I am absolutely shitting on disabled people? How did we do that? And what really bothers me is Scott was the one that pushed this idea with a massive community knowing full well what was going to happen. This started the cancel culture, in my opinion, and it's bullshit, man. This is getting sad now. I just watched the VOD. Lol, this video was an attack of me and my mentality. Nothing to do with the discussion I was creating, so I had to deal with the mob ignoring everything I say just to say shit like, you suck, Scott owned you. This is just childish now. So yeah, he's definitely right. It has pushed away from the DVD discussion, one that Tru3ta1ent didn't want, and it just seems like it's sour grapes for Scott at this point. That's my opinion. And then I think at this point we get Scott Junn's wife, I'm pretty sure, from what I can read in the Twitter thread. I try to be respectful, but he's being rude and mean. Okay. He's totally unacceptable and disgusting to make fun of disabled people. So again, pushing the narrative. It's kind of disgusting because you're kind of Scott's wife. We know in the past someone made fun of him in the same way, and there was a shift from this community. Now look at what he's doing. Yeah. So Tru3ta1ent, apparently, when I watched him early on back in 2016, he does have like I can't remember what it is. It's dyslexia. Like he just muddles up words sometimes and things like that, especially with the spelling. Tru wouldn't make fun of disabled people even more so because of that. So I'm not saying Tru's disabled, you know what I mean? But I'm just following the narrative. Own up to it. It's not a witch hunt. You see it that way because you could never do no wrong, apparently. Because holding you accountable for something awful you said isn't witch hunting at all. It's sad as fuck. Well, you are exactly following the narrative of a witch hunt right now because you're not really following any logic. You're just saying that Tru's a piece of shit for making fun of disabled people. So you are, in fact, following the narrative that Tru was making fun of disabled people, even though in the video, I don't think he was thinking about disabled people when he was rebuttaling back and doing a stupid voice. It was a stupid voice. He was mocking somebody. He's not making fun of disabled people. What's going on? And then we get, I don't expect you to side with him considering it's your husband. So this is saying Jennifer because it's Scott's wife. Calling him out, but to say he's mocking disabled people because he's doing a voice while he's talking about somebody's opinion, which he thinks is idiotic, is just plain stupid. Yeah, he thought that person was an idiot. That's why he did the voice. You summed it up nice, Carnage. She just is making herself look like a fool. Let her go on. Yeah, and everyone's trying to express, people are trying to push the point of, oh, did Tru know that person's disabled? Tru didn't know who the hell that person was. He just did the silly voice, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And moving on, it just gets worse at this point and gets more just convoluted, but Her mum says, in what universe is him making fun of disabled people? I like both Scott and Tru. In fact, I tend to agree with Scott more, but damn, if this ain't grasping at straws. It was a childish response, sure, but it was far from mocking disabled people, in my opinion. And then Scott responds with, that's not even my point. It's his complete dismissal of anyone that disagrees with him. You said in your tweet that, you know, you're making fun of somebody like he has brain damage. So you are pushing the narrative that he's making fun of disabled people, Scott. I know, by the way, I know Scott's a clever guy. You can tell he's eloquent with his words. He seems to have an education. You can tell all these things. You're smart. What the hell are you doing here? You've essentially created this yourself, and now you're saying it's not even the point you were trying to make? I'm so confused at this point. I feel like people are missing the point, which is the dismissal of his arguments, childish so far to the point of mockery. The voice is a grey area and not what I'm focused on. I mean, come on, you know what it sounds like. So we're going back to the narrative again, that yes, it does sound like he's making fun of people with disabilities, and you keep going backwards and forwards. I don't know what to make of this anymore. There's a ton of other tweets, guys, about cancel culture and just saying, you know, Tru3ta1ent should burn at the stake and all that, you know, all that good juicy stuff that you expect to see out of a tweet like this, because that's exactly, in my opinion, what it's designed for. It's aggressive at best, and I've definitely dropped a peg of respect for Scott Jund. The last thing I want to talk about, guys, in the last tweet, and guys, this goes for days, so you can read it at your own perusal. It's on Scott Jund's Twitter if you want. And he says, Christ, we aren't discussing because he doesn't want to talk with me. This is what Scott says. So I'm talking at him, not with him. Yeah, that's extremely aggressive at this point. That is very much mob mentality, and something, by the way, I mean, I've got nothing against Scott before this fact. I don't always agree with Scott, but this is so, like, immature as well. Like, I mean, you call Tru what you like with how he did the voice and all that sort of stuff, mocking or whatever. I mean, it's definitely not making fun of disabled people, but this is extremely kind of immature and disgusting as well, Scott. I do think you're trying to get a reaction out of Tru. I do think you didn't get your own way and you're stomping your feet and having a bit of a tantrum now. And I think that's why you're trying to get a reaction out of him on Twitter. And by the way, Tru handles this absolutely amazingly on Twitter. He's very calm. He sticks to his story. I mean, what else do you expect him to do? Say, oh yeah, sorry, I was making fun of disabled people. Like, you want him to fit the narrative that you guys have put him in your mind, and it's kind of fucking shit. As for Scott, there's no disrespect to you. I mean, I just will not watch you anymore. I don't like the kind of person you are. You are just that Twitter nerd, as it turns out. I thought you were like way above that. I don't know where the hell this has come from. I don't know why you want this drama, and it definitely seems like you've created it yourself. What went from a logical discussion, which is what you put forth originally, from the way that he sees and perceives Survivor Friends, the way Tru reacts to it, I do agree with you. I thought that was fine. Everything else could have been left for a DM. You were just critiquing him as a human being after that. And then when you didn't get the reaction you deserved, you went on Twitter and absolutely tore his asshole. And I just think that's extremely weak coming from a male. I can only speak for coming from a male. I just think that's extremely weak behavior. And you are essentially rousing up the mob and creating a witch hunt for Tru. I don't watch Tru either, so I've got no dog in this race. All I can do is analyze both behaviors, how they reacted, what they did in the situation, and how everyone's going to perceive it. And I'm putting my hand up. If you want to have an attack on me, that's great for an opinion. This is just an opinion. And yeah, you can come and give me shit if you want. It's not going to do anything though, because I'm above this. I'm above this. I wanted to address that. I can't believe we're all, people are joining in on this ridiculous, crusade to burn Tru3ta1ent at the stake just because he sees the game differently originally. And honestly, Scott, I think you have a personal beef with him before this happened. You can tell. You can tell by body language, studying body language. My opinion, though. Anyway, guys, can you please let me know in the comments what you guys think? I'm sorry this is a long-winded video. I thought that was extremely important to point out that how some people in the DBD community are just fucking toxic, man. That is toxic behavior to the max, and trying to basically ruin a guy's livelihood because he he did a silly voice. Do you know how many times I've done fucking silly voices? Should I be held accountable? Am I making fun of a certain person, or, you know, Jesus Christ. It's ridiculous. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Yeah, I'm open to the conversation. You know, just don't come in there and flame me. But if you do, great. Love you guys. Have a great weekend.